I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Dairy Magazine, reporting to you from the World Ag Expo. We're in the Dairy Pavilion. It's a great day here in Tulare. I'm here with Lucas Fuess. He's the Senior Dairy Analyst for the Rabo Research at Rabobank. Wanted to talk with you about the California dairy industry. We've no short of challenges. We've had some interesting dynamics that are leading to lower milk production overall in the state. And there's a lot of pressures. One of the most recent contributors to that's making the news regularly is the bird flu and how that's impacting our dairies and dairy production. But tell us, where are we at? Like, just how low is milk production in California?
Great question, and it's certainly something that the entire industry has been focused on over the past few months. Bird flu started around 1 year ago in the center part of the country, but has now become almost exclusively a California and Nevada issue. Milk production sharply lower in November and December, down 6 to 7% in both of those months. And based on the lingering impacts of the bird flu, we expect California production to be lower over the next several months as well. This has pulled national milk production down as well, because California is 19 to 20% of the U.S. milk. So while we had originally thought that the U.S. would return to growth in year-over-year production, the California decline has been significant enough to pull the U.S. back a little bit. Other regions growing, there's certainly no shortage, I would say, of milk production if we think about the United States broadly, but the challenges presented in California on herd health, on herd management, on lower revenue are all pretty significant right now and probably will be over the next several weeks. I think that one of the wildcard factors that Rabo Research is watching in the weeks and months ahead is if we see more cases start to spread back into the center of the country. We got news earlier this month of a new strain of H5N1, which tells us that the virus continues to transmit from birds to cows in addition to cows. So we continue to see that spread happening. I think as birds migrate north, if we start seeing cases in places like Texas, Kansas, that will be a little bit of a concern for the production potential moving forward. But certainly the top of everyone's minds. I think thankfully milk prices are at a pretty healthy level, and when we combine that with feed costs, especially on these Western California dairies, margin outlook does look favorable this year, so that is some good news for farmers. But I think bird flu remains on top of everyone's mind for production impacts over the next several months.
Yeah, I think, when you have less milk production, you hope that you'll actually get at least a higher price for the product. And if it's having you said a national impact, then we might be seeing that a little bit. But it doesn't fully compensate for the losses that some of our dairy producers are experiencing, huh?
Correct. Yeah.
So moving forward, hopefully we can get past that. But it sounds like you said we're in this for a little while, at least with the flu.
I think so. There will be lingering impacts. Even as cows recover, we might not see milk production return to the level where they were prior to being infected with the virus. We're also seeing some breeding and reproductive challenges, which could limit that animal's potential to calve in the future. So those lingering impacts are pretty concerning to me. To your point about prices, I think it always comes back to supply and demand. I think we're seeing slightly lower U.S. milk production, but overall we do still expect higher milk output in the U.S. in 2025 after 3 years of flat or lower output. That's, I'd say, fairly well matched with demand, which is slightly positive from both the domestic and export perspective. So I think from a price and profitability potential, overall healthy news, but from a bird flu and milk production potential, still some lingering concerns.
Well, thank you for your insights. Read more about these things in California Dairy Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.